Season 3 of Outer Banks is finally coming to Netflix, and we want some answers. Ever since the end of Season 2, we've been dying to know what happens to the characters since it ended in a pretty dramatic way. With that in mind, here's what we know about what's coming in Outer Banks Season 3. While we're at it, let's also look at why Madelyn Cline didn't become famous for her Stranger Things role. First up, a lot of questions will be answered. The last episode of Season 2 ended on a very sad note. The war between the Camerons and the Pogues is probably going to continue in the third season, but Pope's dramatic warning when he said it's not over has made us even more excited for what will happen next. After being split up on the island, the end of Season 2 showed that John B's dad is still alive. This makes a lot of people wonder how and why Big John is back and what he plans to do.
I can help you. But you have to help my son.
John B's relationship with his father continues to be a big theme, and his father coming back is a big part of that. It seems like eventually John B and his father will definitely meet again, but he'll also have to figure out how to deal with the fact that his dead father was not as perfect as he thought he was. On a more romantic note, actor Madelyn Cline has spoken about the fact that Season 3 might dive into the marriage bit more. She thinks it'd be fun to see them start to really get to know each other. At this point, even though they're married, they're not exactly best friends, are they? In a conversation with Elite Daily, Chase Stokes also said that Season 3 might have a vibe shift. He also said that the writers just love to keep the entire cast on their toes, and that's sort of the reason why the performances seem like they're catching you in the moment. Coming up, they're thinking of bringing new people to the cast. Jonas Pate, Josh Pate, and Shannon Burke will return for Outer Banks Season 3 as showrunners and executive producers, and a lot of the key cast members will also be back in their original roles. Apart from them, we've also found out that some new cast members will also be joining the team for Season 3. Andy McQueen will play Carlos Singh, a Caribbean person who's also really smart and cruel. Dawn Fiona Palomo as Sophia will act as a Pogue who wants to fit in at the country club. Over time, she'll build a close relationship with Rafe. We'll see Lou Ferrigno Jr. as Ryan. This one's going to be Singh's top security officer and enforcer. According to the local news station WCBD News 2, it seems like Outer Banks was looking for a young person who looks like John B. What we know is that the show's director is looking for a young actor to play a younger version of the show's main character, but we don't really know why they need a younger version in the first place. Apparently, the candidate must be a Caucasian boy between the ages of 5 and 7 with light brown hair and brown or hazel eyes. This news honestly just makes us want to know more about Season 3's storyline even more. Lastly, the production of Season 3 has officially begun, and it's coming on Netflix soon. The third season of Outer Banks is said to have started filming in Charleston, South Carolina, according to the filming schedules. The wheels started turning on February 16, 2022, and they kept going until August 19, 2022. Valerie Weiss wrote on Instagram in February this year that they had started rolling. We know the last scene was shot on August 31st in Barbados because Charles Eston shared a picture on Instagram talking about it. He said they had spent 3 weeks shooting Season 3. But the time had come for them to leave for home. There was still more to shoot in Charleston, but Eston wanted to take a moment to just be grateful for the amazing job that kept bringing him closer to the most talented and kind cast he could ever hope for. He also took a moment to thank all the wonderful Bajans who made them feel super welcome. At the time of this video, there was no official date given for when Outer Banks would come out. We do know, though, that we will be able to see the Pogues in 2023. Still, during the premiere of Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery at the London Film Festival, Madelyn Cline made a mistake and said that the next episode of Outer Banks Season 3 will come out on February 23rd, 2023. We think Madelyn Cline was right, even though Netflix hasn't confirmed the date yet. At least we hope she's right, because we've already waited long enough. And now, let's look at why Madelyn Cline didn't become famous for her Stranger Things role. First up, Madelyn Cline was Tina in Stranger Things. When we were watching Stranger Things, we didn't really know much about Tina, except that she wanted Billy, that is, Max's older stepbrother and the new kid in town. But you know, at that point, every girl at school wanted him. In Season 2, we see her character in Chapter 1, Mad Max, and Chapter 2, Trick or Treat Freak. In the first episode, Tina's with her friends when Billy comes to school for the first time. And don't think we didn't notice the way she was looking at him. In the second episode, she has a bigger role, because she's in charge of throwing the biggest party of the year. You see, she throws a famous Halloween party at her house. That too on on a school night. This is the same party where Nancy and Steve dressed up as Rebecca De Mornay and Tom Cruise from the 1983 comedy drama Risky Business. Following up, after playing Tina's character, Madelyn Cline realized she wanted to pursue an acting career. Even though Tina's character was on a popular show, it's clear that this wasn't exactly Cline's breakout role. If you look at it, she was in very few scenes, and she had darker hair, which made her look a little different from how she looks now. Even worse, the character she plays isn't really part of a bigger mystery, or even part of the main group of friends in the show. But what's nice is that playing Tina on Stranger Things made Cline realize she wanted to be an actress full-time. And this is the reason why she decided to move to Los Angeles. At the time she filmed the show, she was still in college and split her time between classes and the sets of Stranger Things and the originals. But it was getting incredibly hectic for her, especially since she had run out of excused absences at school. She wanted to keep studying, but she knew in her heart she didn't want to keep splitting her time between the two either. She at least wanted to try to do the acting thing full-time. So she ended up dropping out, packing her car, and driving to Los Angeles. For her, it felt like one of those times when it seemed like there was no going back. It was scary, but also insanely exciting. Up next, Cline got her big break with Outer Banks. Cline got her big break when she was cast in another Netflix show. Yep, you guessed it, it's Outer Banks. This was big because she plays one of the main characters, Sarah Cameron, in the show. She talked about how when she read the pilot for the first time, she was hooked. To her, the story was like when you read a good book, and you just absolutely have to know what happens next. She also remembered that the audition process moved very quickly. The weird thing was that she only had 1 or 2 auditions. She was expecting a whole lot of procedures and screenings before she could even be considered for a regular role on a show. But it all went by really smoothly. She was so shocked when she got the role that she kept asking the casting team if they were sure and absolutely positive she was the right choice. But when she realized they were sure, she got really happy knowing that they really wanted her to play Sarah.
We're gonna get to the bottom of it, okay?
Will you help me, Cole?
I will help you. Here, drink some tea.
Finally, here's how she wants Sarah's character to develop. What makes Madelyn's role so important in the show also is how much character development Sarah goes through, and Madelyn thinks there's still more to explore. With Season 4, we really want to learn more about Sarah after what happened in Season 2. Before the show was officially renewed, Cline talked about what she would like to see her character do next. To this, she said she wanted to see her do things on her own and be happy. She said that Sarah should have a Rachel Green moment because Season 2 was so hard for her and everyone else, and she'd have to get a job to deal with a pretty difficult situation in a normal way. And on that note, that's a wrap for this video. What are you expecting to happen in Season 3 of Outer Banks? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.